Hello everyone, and thank you very much first of all for joining me in this tutorial. So in this lecture we are going to talk about the Flask application, which we will host on a Linux instance on AWS. Okay, and then we will see how can we put a load balancer in the backend which can manage the traffic coming on that particular instance. Right, so all these things we'll be covering in this video, but before diving into the tutorial, I would like to show you something. So this is my YouTube channel, as you guys know, right? And here, if you want to check out things which I have developed till date, so you can come in the playlist and you can find things related to artificial intelligence. There are 139 different Python projects which you will find over here. Full stack development projects, cloud computing projects, NLP based projects, Django, artificial intelligence, CVMD, computer vision. There are a number of playlists which you'll find over here, and each playlist have got real-time projects based videos, okay, from which you can take out a lot of things and you can learn, and also you can implement number of things easily if you will start checking out these videos. Okay, so coming back to the tutorial, and here we'll first create an instance quickly. So it's going to be a free tier instance, and I'm going to name it as Flask session. And here we can simply come down and create a new key pair. So I would like to name it as Flask session again, because it's a session based on Flask application. That's the reason I named it so. And now coming down, we can enable the HTTPS traffic from the internet. We can allow HTTP traffic also from the internet, and then we can launch the instance. Okay, so once the instance is there, here are the commands that you have to fire, that you have to use for creating the Flask application, also for installing all the libraries which are required for running the application on the Linux instance, and also there are instructions you can follow for creating the load balancer in the backend of the Linux instance. Okay, so we are going to first check out this very first command, with the help of which we can check the Python version present on the instance. But for that, we'll have to first give it a refresh so that we can see the newly created instance. So this is the one which I just created. Rest everything is terminated. And here I can come on this ID, then come on connect, and then we can click on connect, and it will redirect us to this console. Now by the time this console is getting loaded, let's come here and check out if we have anything on this IP address of the server or not. So as you can see, there is nothing on HTTPS, neither there is anything on this HTTP. So the console is ready now, and here we can simply use this command for checking out the Python version. So it is Python 3.9.16. Let's create this Python alias quickly. Done. And then we need to install this pip. Okay, so this is a command that you can use for installing pip. Pip is something which is a package manager for Python. Then we can check the pip version just to see whether it has been installed correctly by the command or not. Yes, so it is pip 21.3.1, which has got installed on this device. Then we need to update the packages. Done with it. The second thing we have to do is we need to install HTTPD and mode WHGI. Let's see whether this command can help us in the same or not. Last metadata expiration check is itna, no match for argument itna. So in case if this command gives you an error, what is the alternative? So you can install this development tools first. Fine, simply fire this command like this, the way I have done it. Maybe I'll not be able to show it to you, but yes, you can fire this command and install all the development tools. Then you can install this HTTPD using this command. Okay, so say a yes to it, and then download and build this mod WSGI. This is something which is really required for you to host your Flask application on this Linux instance. Okay, so coming back to this server, here we can simply download this file. So here we can download it like this. Fine, and then we can unzip it. Okay, and then we can come inside this CD mode. Simply fire these commands the way I am doing. Okay, so this will configure your path of mode SGI so that Python can recognize it where it is actually present. Then we can do this make. Okay, and finally sudo make install. Fine. Now we have to configure Apache to load mode SGIs. For that, we can simply do this, and inside it, we can paste this line. Okay. I think I'll have to go back, sorry. Coming back. Okay, so here, do we have this line load module WSGI module over here? Let's check it out. Load module. Okay, so what we can do here is we can come down, delete it, and then we can simply copy and paste it like this. Fine. Now escape WQ. So we've saved it. Now let's see whether this HTTPD will be able to restart or not. We'll have to check the status. Okay, so I think it is active right now. Okay, HTTPD is active. So half of the work is complete related to the Flask application hosting. Fine. Okay, this is also working fine. Now it's time for us to install the dependencies required for hosting the Flask, for running the Flask application. So the Flask module needs to be installed first. Done with it. Then we can create a directory inside www. Okay, and here we are going to create this directory named Flask application. Fine, and then we can simply create. Let's come inside this Flask app name directory first. Okay, and inside it we are going to create this app.py named file. This is how we can do it. Simply copy this simple Flask application code and paste it like this over here. Fine. Escape WQ. Done. Coming down, configure Apache to serve the Flask application now. Okay, so we have already installed HTTPD, as you guys know, so we need not to do this. coming down, create the httpd directory. So this is also something which we don't require to do because we already have this httpd in place. Okay, so we can simply come down over here and we can run this command, creating the configuration file for our Flask application. And we have to copy this whole code and paste it as it is over here. Fine, escape, WQ, done. Coming down, it's time for us to create the WSGI file. Okay, so I'm going to simply paste the command over here. Let's come down, copy this whole content, paste it over here, do an escape, WQ, escape is not working right now. Why it's not working? Okay, so it's working fine. Okay, coming back, now we need to start the Apache server. I think it's already started, right? It's already running if I'm not wrong. So let's see whether we'll be able to see the application here on this IP address or not. So now, as you can see, the application is accessible on this IP address of this server. So these are the steps basically that we have to follow for hosting the Flask application on an Ubuntu server. Okay, let me just summarize these steps again. So check first whether Python is installed properly or not. Okay, then you'll need to install pip. Once you're done with installing pip, you need to install yum. Okay, and then httpd and mode WSGI. These are the two packages that you have to install using yum. In case this command doesn't work, you can go with these commands. So install the development tools first, then httpd you can install, and then you can download the mode WSGI from this GitHub library, unzip it, okay, and then configure it so that Python can recognize it, and then install make. Okay, once you're done with doing it, you can give it a restart. You can give the HTTP a restart, and your HTTPD will become active. And rest is all about installing the Flask application. So just install the libraries first, whatever you want to use for your Flask application. Create this directory inside your www named folder. Then Flask app named folder will come inside this HTML name directory. Inside this main Flask app directory, your app.py file will come where you'll have to put your Flask applications code. Okay, then simply configure your Apache so that it can serve the Flask app. So for that, httpd you need to install, but because we have already done it over here on the top, so please don't do it again over here. Okay, please don't do it again over here. Just access your IP address, just try to access the application through the IP address of your EC2 instance. If not, you'll have to reconfigure it, or maybe you've left something, that's the reason it's not accessible. Okay, but as you can see, for me it is accessible and I've done everything live in front of you. Now it's time for us to create the load balance. Okay, so we're going to create an Elastic Load Balancer in AWS. The first thing that we have to do is we have to come on EC2 dashboard and simply come on load balancers. So here is our EC2 dashboard. Here you can find the load balancers. Simply come on create load balancers, and we want to create an application load balancer. As of now, here we have to give a name to our load balancer. So Flask session load balancer. It should be internet facing, IPv4, network mapping. Let's use two different zones so that we can have a high availability. Security groups, let's go with the default one. And here target group. So we need to create a target group also. Here we can go with instances because we have to target our instance on which the application is currently running. Okay, here we can give a name to our target group. So Flask target group, and here we can choose session like this, HTTP 80, VPC, HTTP 1. All this is fine, I think. Yeah, everything looks good. Coming down, health check, we don't have to do anything here. Let's click on next. So here it says a maximum of 32 alphabetic characters. Let's not go with group. I think now it should be fine. Okay, no problem. Only A to Z. A maximum of 32 alphanumeric characters including hyphens are allowed. Fine. I think now this will be accepted. Yeah. So here we can see the Flask session named instance we created some while back. We need to simply select it and then click on include as pending below. So this will get included in the target section and then you can create your target group. Okay. So once you're done with creating the target group, you have to come back on this load balancer screen. Okay, where you're creating the load balancer. Give it a refresh and here you will be able to see your Flask target group you have just created. Coming down here we have to, okay, this looks fine. Is there anything I'm missing? Let me check it out. So I'm done with creating the target group also. Auto scaling. This is also done. No, just a second. Do we have the auto scaling group option here or not? No, we don't have that thing over here. Let's create the load balancer. Okay, again we are getting the same error message. So it's because of the underscore that I've used. Simply change it to hyphens and yeah. So our load balancer is there now. We have successfully created a load balancer. Okay. Coming back to this notepad file, target group, this we are done with. Okay, and then create an auto scaling group. So the next thing that we have to do is we have to create an auto scaling group. We need to come down, create auto scaling group. Flask app plus session auto scaling, and here we can, okay, we need to create a template also for auto scaling. So all these things, you have to do. So Flask app plus session template, and here we can come down. Okay, instance type. So instance type is going to be T3 nano, the same that we used for our initial instance. Let's come on recently launched. I think here we'll be able to see the recently launched instance. So this we can use. Okay, I think rest everything looks fine. All generations, key pair. Now we can use the same key pair that we created for our Flask instance, which is Flask session. And then security groups, let's go with the default one for now. Let's come down. Okay, rest everything fine. So this is how you can create the template. Fine, let's launch it. Once you're done with creating the template, you need to come back on this auto scaling group, give it a refresh, select the template that you have created. Okay, or instance 2. No, Flask session template is the one that we just created. Everything looks fine. Let's come on next, and here we can create the availability zones. So I'm going to select 2 availability zones as of now. Click on next, and no load balancer attached to an existing load balancer, attached to a new load balancer. So attached to an existing load balancer, and from here you can select the load balancer which you have created. So this is the one which I just created. Okay, and then we can simply turn on Elastic health checks. Rest everything looks fine. Okay. Next, and then for scaling you can define your own policies by clicking this target tracking scaling policy, average CPU utilization should be 50. Instance warm-ups, 300 seconds is more than enough. Okay, and then here we have some options. So I'm going to go with launch before terminating. Okay, and then we can simply do a next, then next, and then next, and then we can come down and check all the configuration, create a auto scaling group. So for load balancer, okay, we created a group, a target group. For auto scaling group, we created a template. Remember this thing. So 4 things we have to create when it comes to load balancer. Load balancer. Then for load balancer, you have to create a target group. Then you have to create an auto scaling group, okay, to which you have to attach a load balancer. And for auto scaling group, you need to create a template ID. And through that template ID, you have to map this instance that you have created on which your application is running. Fine. So everything is now set up. Here we have to come on our EC2 dashboard, instances. Now we'll see how many instances are there. So currently there is only one instance running. Okay, as you can see, let me give it a refresh also. Okay, now this second instance has automatically come in. Okay, why it has automatically come in? It's because of that load balancer which is there in the backend. So we have configured it in a way that before this application, right, goes overburdened, a new instance should be there in place so that the load balancer can bifurcate the traffic between the two instances. Okay, so this has got created automatically by the load balancer. If you want to check it out, you can simply use a Python script also like this. Here you have to replace this with the IP of your server like this. Okay, so it is nothing but to send the traffic to this IP. Okay, and then we can simply use this command to run this whole code. Okay, it will generate threads, it will create number of requests, then everything, all the requests will be sent to this server over here, and you will see it will not go down because we already have a server in place. So now both these servers will be serving the requests which this code will generate. So this is how the load balancer works. This is how you can set up the Flask application on an Ubuntu server of AWS. Right, I hope you guys like this lecture. Do not forget to like and share this video in your group. In case you want me to help you guys in your projects or in anything related to hosting or web application development or mobile application development or anything related to whatever I have on my YouTube channel, do let me know in the comment section below. That is it from my side in this lecture. Bye bye, take care, and have a great day, guys.